Now, live from your local news source, this is ABC 27 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Alicia Richards.
And I'm Dennis Owens. Glad you're with us on this election day. Well, we have several primary races to update for you.
Yep, but let's begin with one of the biggest, the race to take on Republican Congressman Scott Perry in November. He is running unopposed. Our Sarah Wilson is covering the crowded field of Democrats. Sarah.
Alicia, Dennis, crowded is exactly right. 6 Democrats hoping to boot Republican Scott Perry out of a 7th term. You can see them on your screen. Shemaine Daniels, Mike O'Brien, Rick Copeland, Janelle Stelson, John Broadhurst, and Blake Lynch. Whichever of those candidates wins tonight will face Perry come November. He has already won the Republican primary. He has no challenger. The same clearly cannot be said for Democrats, and that's why volunteers are so adamant that people get out and vote. We've been talking with them and, of course, voters. We've seen a good amount of support from Democrats for O'Brien, some for Stelson as well. Registered Democrats clearly have a lot of options. They'll only have 2 in November, but some of them say Perry is not one of them.
Frankly, I want somebody who can beat Scott Perry. He's just got to go. He just doesn't reflect any of my values, or I think a lot of the values of Central Pennsylvania, and he's been an embarrassment to our area.
Regardless of who you're supporting, regardless of your party, there is one big bipartisan message, and that is get out and vote. Turnout here at St. James Presbyterian Church has been steady. It's picked up a little bit, but volunteers say it's still not great, and they really want to change that.
People think that one vote isn't going to make a difference, but it does. I mean, you add up a bunch of one votes and it makes a big difference. I wish people would realize this right's important and they should come out and vote. The second thing is that they don't think much is at stake. This election, for Republicans anyway, it's mostly uncontested. So they're thinking, why do I need to go out and vote? But I think that it's an exercise of a right.
And look, we may not know who's won the Democratic primary for the 10th congressional district yet. Of course, voting is still happening. But Congressman Perry is already setting his sights on November. He tells us that is when voters will have a clear choice. Democratic candidates have fired back at statements like that you just saw in the past. In fact, calling Perry's policies dangerous. We are expected to hear much more from them tonight after the polls close. Live in Mechanicsburg, Sarah Wilson, ABC 27 News.
Sarah, thank you. Now, one of the races people are keeping an eye on in the mid-state is the 103rd State House District to replace Democrat incumbent Patty Kim, who's seeking higher office. Taylor Toshef joins us live from a polling place in Harrisburg. Taylor.
Dennis, yes, we are live in Harrisburg at a polling place here at Camp Curtin School. I talked to people inside. They say throughout the day it's the typical turnout you see on primary election day, not packed, but a steady stream of people coming in and out ready to cast their ballot, and no issues here to report. Now, people coming to this polling place will be voting for the 103rd District. That covers portions of Cumberland and Dauphin counties, including Harrisburg, Camp Hill, and Lemoyne. Now, Republicans only have one name on the ballot, Cynthia Ward, but for Democrats, they will have to choose between 5 candidates. Those 5 Democratic candidates debated in our ABC 27 studio in March. They are Nathan Davidson, Mercedes Evans, Laura Harding, Jesse Minoski, and Tina Nixon. Each candidate is running to fill a seat being vacated by Democrat State Representative Patty Kim, who won this district by 65% in 2022. She is running against Democrat Alvin Q. Taylor for the state Senate's 15th district. We spoke to a voter who emphasizes the importance of showing up for the primary.
Important things are happening at this local level and state level that we should all be willing to participate in.
Now, taking a look at the 92nd district, Republicans have 5 candidates on the ballot. They are Holly Kelly, Zachary Kyle, Mark Anderson, Chris Wyatt, and Matthew Davis. That district covers part of York County. They are running to fill a seat being vacated by Republican State Representative Dawn Kiefer. She is running unopposed in the primary for Senate in the 31st district. And whoever punches their ticket to November's election, they will face Democrat Dan Almany. He is running unopposed. And then in this long-held GOP seat, Almany lost to Kiefer in the general election back in 2022. But for now, live, Taylor Tashev, ABC 27 News.
Taylor, thanks so much. And you'll have updates tonight at 11, of course. York County District Attorney Dave Sunday cast his ballot this morning. He's competing with State Representative Craig Williams from the Philly suburbs for the Republican nomination in the state attorney general race.
Being part of this entire democratic process, quite frankly, is an honor. And I've done everything in my power to get the message out, which is accountability and redemption. That's my philosophy of criminal justice, and I've shared it all across Pennsylvania.
Now, 5 Democrats also competing to fill the office of outgoing AG Michelle Henry. With the polls closing in less than 2 hours.
There is much to be done. Election workers are hard at work across the mid-state as last-minute voters still head to their polling places. Let's turn now to Evan Papalis. Evan.
Alicia, Dennis, people are still heading to the polls here in Lancaster County after their workday, and it was a quiet morning and afternoon here in the county. But even with the new mail-in and absentee ballot materials, mistakes are still being made.
It's up to the people to choose their leaders.
The primary in Lancaster.
We're all but officially done our mail ballot scanning for everything that came in up until yesterday afternoon.
Over 20,000 mail-in ballots counted.
You want to have a say in what your society, what your town, what your community is doing. Voting is the way to do it.
No issues from the county side, only mistakes with voters dating the envelope.
Filling out the date has been an issue.
Even though Krista Miller, chief clerk of elections for Lancaster, didn't think that would be an issue.
I will say we thought it was going to help. Like, I was a big proponent in that. I was like, oh, this will be great. This will really help because we were getting so many birth dates. I'm not so sure that that was actually the case.
The new envelopes have a 20 on it to signify to put the year and not a birth date. Over 300 voters making the error.
Anybody who did not have either a signature or they didn't have a date or they had an incorrectly dated ballot, we went through the system, canceled those ballots. So as long as they had an email or a phone number that they had the text set up for, they would have gotten notification about that.
Those folks can go and fill out a provisional ballot. County Commissioner Ray D'Agostino says turnout isn't high.
We're looking at a low turnout at this primary. It's kind of hard to say what we're going to be talking about percentage-wise.
The election team hoping to have everything counted tonight.
Hopefully we should have results completely done by midnight tonight.
And Miller says those results should start to get uploaded to the county's new election website tonight around 8:30, and they will continue to update as more polling locations bring back their results. In Lancaster, Evan Papalis, ABC 27 News.
All right, Evan, thanks so much. Some local DJs are bringing music to polling sites across the state. Locally, the group DJs at the Polls has been in Harrisburg and York. The musicians say they want to energize and entertain voters.
We are out here playing some great music for the community to get everyone pumped up about today's voting. I hope that they understand the importance of voting and also that we can do it together.
Today's playlist ranged from Rihanna's top hits to Stevie Wonder classics.
Well, the polls are open until 8 o'clock tonight. You can watch the votes come in live at abc27.com, and we'll hopefully have winners and final numbers for you on ABC 27 News at 11.